like to throw open this conversation, this debate with you. I'd like to start with Mr. Shashikant. What is really happening? Is this perception really felt at all that manufacturing is losing out? Do you feel it?
Well, thanks for inviting me to be the opening batsman. It's not very easy these days, but nevertheless. Actually, I have a very different take on this subject. My belief is, if you say manufacturing's loss of attractiveness is a very natural, normal phenomenon. You acquire attractiveness over a period of time, and you also start losing it. There are always different industries that come up. There has never been a point in time in the history where there is no new sunrise industry at any given point in time. Even if you go back to the Industrial Revolution, you started it by taking people who were in agriculture. What happened to agriculture? It may have received a setback initially. Agriculture is thriving, and they are doing very well across the world. Different points in time, different industries came up, heavy industries, MNCs, different services. Talents fly from one place to another is a natural phenomenon. So there is no need to feel threatened about it. There could be temporary problems and issues on what exactly happens when you look at that. We were just talking about lack of hot young executives from the manufacturing sector. The question is, are we defining hot appropriately? I think that's the question. Not whether talent is hot in the manufacturing sector or not, are we defining it appropriately? Number two, if you really look at the subject, it talks of best talent. I don't believe we need best talent in every situation. And I also believe this obsession with best is a very typically Indian cultural trait. You want your child to be the best child. You want your child to be best in the sports arena. So we attach a very different meaning of best. So therefore, we also become victims of our own arguments over a period of time, calling ourselves best and not the best. I think we need right talent. We don't really need best talent. We did a strategic workforce planning exercise in the Aditya Birla Group for all the 14 different businesses. And we have so many manufacturing businesses. 70% of our top line comes from manufacturing businesses. 70% of our workforce is in that. So when we did a 3-year exercise to really figure out what kind of numbers and what kind of talent do you need for the next 3 years for the Aditya Birla Group's growth, we figured out many new different things. Line managers always believe you need engineers to do every job. Actually, it turns out you don't really need engineers to do every job that we get them to do. Just because they are available, we fill them up in abundance. They don't have good jobs to do. They are angry, unhappy. So I think finding out the right talent was actually the diploma talent and many of the ITIs whom we can actually train. Let me take an example of our pulp factory. In India, we have engineers running those ships. The same pulp factories in Canada are run by economics graduates with 1.5 years of training. So I would like to emphasize on the word right talent. Number 3, if you are looking for the best situation available every given point in time, that's never going to happen. There will be newer players coming, there will be newer industries coming, the talent will always fly. What ability and capability do you have to develop them internally? And the last point I would like to make before I pass it on to my other colleagues. There is a mindset issue in manufacturing of ownership. We would like to own everything. The land, the building, the talent. The model of doing business in manufacturing has to change from owning to renting. We always say all the engineers go everywhere else, but actually where do they go? They either go do MBAs and become managers, just within the industry, or they become specialists and join consulting organizations. What stops us from renting that skill set from the consulting organizations for our own benefit? So I think it's a question of mindset of ownership that actually prevents us. And I don't believe that there is a huge problem staring at us. There are problems staring at us, but they are not so huge that we don't have solutions for